In today's video, we will look at the configuration of the Cudy P5 SIM-enabled Wi-Fi 6 broadband router. This router supports dual SIM cards and also offers the option to use a backup broadband connection. As I showed you earlier, this router supports 2 nano SIM cards, and you can control which SIM is used for data. Along with that, there is a backup broadband connection available, and you can also use an external mobile antenna if you want. Here you can see dedicated ports for connecting external antennas, and there are 4 LAN ports, one of which can be configured and used as a 1 port. As you can see, the router comes in this type of package. When we open the box, the router is placed like this inside. The accessories are arranged as shown, with the cables kept on the side. After opening the package, you can see that 4 antennas are provided separately. As you can see now, we have entered the router's control panel. To access the control panel, you need to use the IP address and password written on the back of the router. From here, you can manage all the router's internet and Wi-Fi settings. At the top, you will first see the cellular data graph, followed by the internet data graph, and then the wireless data graph. We can see a dialog box called Status. Here, it shows that the internet is connected. In the work mode section, you can see that it is connected in cellular router mode, and the WAN interface is also in a connected state. Now we will go into the quick setup section and try to complete the quick setup from there. When you enter the quick setup section, the first thing it will ask you to do is set your location. Alternatively, you can click the option below called Auto Update and enable it. In the next option, we need to complete the cellular setup, which means you can configure the SIM card settings from here. Alternatively, you can keep everything on auto and click the next button. In this case, you can select which SIM you want to use for the data connection, or if it is set to auto, the router will automatically select the SIM that has an active data connection. The next option is the APN profile. You can usually keep this set to auto and it will work fine. However, in some cases, you may need to configure it manually. In that situation, you can use the manual option to enter the APN details for your SIM card, and if a username and password are required, you can set those here as well. The next option is wireless setup. Here, you will see 2 wireless connection options, one for 2.4 GHz wireless settings and another for 5 GHz settings. You need to set the network name, SSID, and password separately for each band, and you can also choose and customize the type of security system you want to use. Once you complete these steps, your router will be fully ready for use. In the second option, we can see the mesh option. This option allows us to connect other routers to our mesh network. If you have multiple routers at home and want to connect them to your network, you can do it easily using this option. First, there is the management section, which you need to turn on. Next is the device name section, where you can assign a name to your device. After that, there is a firmware update option, followed by the report option. Then comes the reset option, and finally, the LED control option. You can enable all of these. You can also see which devices are connected to your router, and by clicking the Add button, you can join other routers to your network using WPS mode. The next option is Devices. When you enter this option, you can see which devices are connected to your Wi-Fi signal and how many devices are connected to each signal. Even if we want to know how many devices are connected via wired connection, we can check that here as well. You can individually identify each device, see its MAC address, IP address, and other details. All of this can be viewed from this section. The next option is 5G. Here, you can see that the network type shows 5G connected, and below it, the upload and download speeds are displayed. If we click on the More button to go deeper, we can see the first option is APN Settings, which we showed you earlier. If you feel that you need to set up an APN here, you can configure it from this section. The next option is SMS. This means that if you enable it here, you can read the SMS messages received on your SIM card. Using this option, you will be able to view all your SMS messages directly from the router. The next option is Data Settings. This means that if you are using a limited data plan on your SIM card, you can set the data limit here. By configuring it, you can ensure that your data usage does not exceed the limit, preventing any unexpected charges on your bill. AT commands are text-based commands used to communicate with modems, mostly cellular LTE 5G modems. They allow you to check signal strength, disconnect the network, send SMS, or configure APN, among other things. Using the modem reset command, you can reset only the modem settings without affecting any of the router's other configurations. For example, if you change the SIM card and use a SIM from a different provider, This reset is necessary to reinitialize the modem for the new SIM. When we enter the APN section, you can see many settings besides just changing the access point network name. For example, if your mobile SIM plan includes a calling option through an app, you can enable it from here and make calls using that service. You can also select which SIM card you want to use from this section. After that, you can choose the network mode to decide which type of network the router will connect to. You can also switch the network search from automatic to manual. From here, you can change the protocol type between IPv4 and IPv6. One of the most important features for a mobile router is band locking, and this router allows you to lock specific bands. By doing so, you can expect more stable and better speeds from the router. Finally, at the very bottom, you will find the access point network option, where you can edit the APN if needed. Here you can see that WAN mode is enabled as a secondary connection, and it is connected as a dynamic client. If I go into the settings, we can see that this router easily supports the types of connections provided by traditional ISPs, such as PPPoE. You can also use it as a secondary connection. In addition, all the necessary options for using VPNs are available here. As you can see, I won't go into detailed explanations of these settings, because I assume you are already familiar with them. Next is the LAN settings. When we enter this section, we can see the IP address through which we are logged into the control panel, along with the subnet mask. We can also see the MAC address of this router displayed here. If we go into the settings, we will find that we can change the current IP address to a different one if we want. We can also modify the subnet mask according to our preference, adjust the IP pool, and configure IP routing and subnet settings from here. Next is wireless settings. In this section, you can view detailed information about the wireless signal, such as wireless security and channel width. When you enter the settings, the first option you will see is to edit the wireless network name, also known as the SSID. After that, there is an option to edit the security encryption, followed by an option to change the password. Next, you will see the mode option, where you may find some newer modes. You can use them if needed, or stick with the traditional mode if not. Then, as you can see, I am tuning the signal according to my requirements. This helps achieve maximum performance, although you can leave it on default if you prefer. In the same way, you can also edit and configure the 5 GHz signal, because both the 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz bands are configured in a similar manner. Here you can see that a separate section has been provided specifically for VPN. Those who want to use VPN through this router can do so very easily. You can use VPN in multiple ways, and you can also use this router as a VPN server. As you can see, several protocols are supported for VPN usage. Explaining all of them in detail would make this video very long, so we will discuss them in a separate episode another day. Next is the DHCP server. From here, you can configure IP routes. For example, you can set from which IP address your IP pool will start and at which IP address it will end. You can also see how many IP addresses are currently being used by your router. From the settings, you can configure and use custom DNS servers as well. Under the system options, the first thing we see is basic information about the router, such as the hardware ID, local time, and how long the router has been running. After that, there is the statistics section, where you can see how much bandwidth and how many packets are being used on each port, whether there are any errors, and if there are any TX drops. Next is the ARP section, where you can view all connected devices, the connection method, and their MAC addresses along with their names. After that, there is active IP routes, which provides information about which IP is connected from where and to which destination. Finally, there is the system log, where all router activity and usage details are recorded, and you can also see an option to download these logs. Now we have moved to the general settings from the top menu, because we already covered the previous two options from the home page and quick settings. Inside the general settings, you will see some of the same options repeated that we have already discussed earlier. Inside the general settings, the first option we see is cellular. Here, you will notice that the same tasks and settings I showed you earlier are available again, but this time they are presented individually with separate configuration options. Just like before, you can see the SMS option, which you can enable from here. After that, there are data settings. As I mentioned earlier, within data settings you can set a data limit if you are using a prepaid or limited data plan. After that, we can see options such as AT command and modem reset, which I showed you earlier as well. Next is WAN mode. I have already shown you this earlier in the previous options, so here it is repeated again for reference. Here you can see that inside wireless settings, the same options we saw earlier are repeated. After that, there is the VPN section, which I showed you before, and it has been categorized separately here. Next is the firmware section, where you can update the router's firmware by directly uploading a file. You can also enable auto check, so if an update is available, you can see it here and update the router accordingly. Now we have entered the advanced settings, where we can see a huge list of options. We will go through each option one by one. Let's start with the LAN to WAN switch. As you know, this router does not have a dedicated WAN port, so using this option, we can assign one of the LAN ports to function as a WAN port. This is useful if we ever need a broadband connection. We have already seen the LAN port option earlier, where you can edit the IP address if needed. Here, this option is repeated again, and you can also use it to configure IP routing and subnet settings. You will find options for a guest network. From this section, you can provide separate Wi-Fi access for guests. There are options for both frequency bands, and you can either leave them open or set a password. You can also customize the SSIDs according to your preference. As you can see, the DHCP server option is repeated here, so we won't discuss it again. The IPv6 option is very important because most networks and devices nowadays require this type of network configuration. Here, you can see that there is an individual option, which allows you to select and configure your connection to use IPv6 as needed. Those who need IPTV or VLAN options can use this feature. You can enable it here and customize it according to your requirements. From this section, you can individually configure which port or LAN will be used for internet access, outgoing traffic, or IPTV usage. All these options are available here for individual configuration, as you can see. IGMP stands for Internet Group Management Protocol. This option is used to manage multicast traffic on your network, which is especially important for services like IPTV. By enabling IGMP, the router can efficiently handle multicast streams, ensuring smoother video streaming and better network performance. QoS stands for Quality of Service. This feature allows you to prioritize certain types of network traffic over others. For example, you can give higher priority to gaming, video calls, or streaming, so these services get more bandwidth and a smoother experience, even if other devices are using the network at the same time. The custom DNS option allows you to set your own DNS servers instead of using the default ones provided by your ISP. By using custom DNS, you can improve browsing speed, access block websites, or use more secure and reliable DNS services. You can enter the DNS addresses of your choice here. DDNS stands for Dynamic Domain Name System. This feature allows you to assign a domain name to your router even if your internet IP address changes frequently. With DDNS, you can access your home network or devices remotely using a consistent domain name, without worrying about your IP address changing. Static routing allows you to manually define specific paths for network traffic to follow within your network. Unlike dynamic routing, which automatically finds the route, static routing gives you full control over which gateway or path your data uses. This is useful for advanced network setups, connecting multiple subnets, or controlling traffic flow between devices. Port forwarding allows you to direct incoming internet traffic to a specific device on your local network. This is useful for hosting servers, online games, or accessing devices like IP cameras remotely. By setting up port forwarding, you tell the router exactly which port traffic should go to, ensuring the right device receives the data. Port triggering is similar to port forwarding, but it works dynamically. Instead of permanently opening a port, the router temporarily opens specific ports when a device on your network initiates a connection. This is useful for applications like online gaming or chat programs, where certain ports are needed only while the application is active. Once the connection ends, the ports automatically close. DMZ stands for Demilitarized Zone. This feature allows you to expose a specific device on your network directly to the internet, bypassing the router's firewall. It is useful for gaming consoles, servers, or applications that need unrestricted access from outside. However, use it carefully, because the device in the DMZ is more exposed to potential security risks. Online detection helps your router check if the internet is actually working. It regularly pings a target server, usually using ICMP, to see if it's reachable. If the router can't get a response within the set time, it knows the connection is down and can react automatically. Simple, smart, and essential for stable internet monitoring. TTL stands for Time to Live. In networking, TTL is a value in data packets that tells the network how long the packet should be allowed to exist before being discarded. On some routers, TTL settings can be adjusted to help manage traffic, prevent network loops, or bypass certain ISP restrictions. Wake on LAN WOL is a feature that allows you to remotely turn on a device, like a computer, over the network. By sending a special magic packet to the device's network card, you can power it on without physically pressing the power button. This is useful for managing devices remotely or scheduling tasks when the device is off. Universal Plug and Play, or UPnP, is a feature that allows devices on your network to automatically discover each other and establish connections without manual configuration. This is especially useful for gaming consoles, media servers, and smart home devices, as it lets them open ports and communicate seamlessly with minimal setup. The Firewall is a security feature that protects your network from unauthorized access and malicious traffic. It monitors incoming and outgoing data, blocking anything suspicious or harmful. By configuring the firewall on your router, you can control which devices or services are allowed to access your network, keeping your internet connection safe. MAC filter is a security feature that allows you to control which devices can connect to your network based on their MAC addresses. By adding a device's MAC address to the allow or block list, you can ensure that only authorized devices access your Wi-Fi, preventing unauthorized connections. IP filter is a security feature that allows you to control network access based on IP addresses. You can create rules to allow or block specific IP addresses from accessing your router or network. This helps manage traffic, prevent unauthorized access, and enhance network security. Domain filter is a feature that allows you to block or restrict access to specific websites or domains on your network. By adding domains to the filter list, you can prevent devices on your network from visiting certain websites, which is useful for parental control or network security. IP MAC binding is a feature that links a device's MAC address to a specific IP address on your network. This ensures that the device always receives the same IP address, improving network stability and security. It prevents IP conflicts and makes it easier to manage devices on your network. WPS stands for Wi-Fi Protected Setup. This feature allows you to quickly connect devices to your Wi-Fi network without entering a password. By pressing the WPS button on the router and the device, a secure connection is automatically established. It's a convenient way to connect devices like smartphones, smart TVs, or printers safely and quickly. Wi-Fi schedule is a feature that allows you to set specific times when your Wi-Fi network is active or turned off. By creating a schedule, you can control when devices can access the internet, save energy, and improve security by disabling Wi-Fi during times it's not needed. ALG stands for Application Layer Gateway. This feature helps your router manage specific types of traffic for certain applications, such as VoIP, online gaming, or FTP. By enabling ALG, the router can automatically handle the special protocols these applications need, ensuring smoother performance and fewer connection issues. System time is the feature that shows the current time and date of your router. Setting the correct system time is important for scheduling tasks, logging events, and for features like parental controls or Wi-Fi schedules to work accurately. You can manually set the time or synchronize it automatically using an NTP server. You can see that the firmware update option is provided again. From this section, you can directly upload and update the router's firmware. Backup and restore is a feature that allows you to save your router's current settings and configurations. You can create a backup file and restore it later if needed. This is useful if you want to reset the router, update firmware, or transfer your settings to another router without reconfiguring everything manually. The next option is administration. Here, we can see local management, where you can select which devices are allowed to access the router locally. In addition to the main device, you can select up to 3 extra devices. After that, there is remote management, where you can choose the remote management port and configure it as you wish. The web address access will also be displayed here. You can select which devices are allowed for remote management, or allow all devices. All these options are provided here in an organized way. You can change the admin password. Instead of using the default password to log in, you can set your own password according to your preference. Inside the language option, there are many languages available. You can select your preferred language from here, choosing the one you are most comfortable with or prefer as a reference. Timed reboot is a feature that allows you to schedule automatic restarts of your router at specific times. This can help maintain network stability, clear temporary glitches, and ensure the router runs smoothly without needing manual intervention. You can set the time and frequency according to your needs. Reboot is a feature that allows you to manually restart your router. This clears temporary glitches, refreshes the network connection, and helps the router run smoothly. Unlike a reset, rebooting does not change any of your saved settings or configurations. Reset is a feature that restores your router to its factory default settings. This erases all your custom configurations, including Wi-Fi names, passwords, and any other settings you have made. Use this option if you want to start fresh or fix issues that cannot be resolved by a simple reboot. LED control is a feature that allows you to manage the lights on your router. You can turn the LEDs on or off according to your preference. This is useful if you want to reduce light disturbance in a darkroom or simply customize the router's display. TR069 is a protocol used for remote management of routers and other network devices by your Internet Service Provider, ISP. It allows the ISP to automatically configure, monitor, and update your router without you having to do anything. This helps ensure your device stays up to date and properly configured. Now we will look at the Diagnostics option inside the Diagnostics tools. When we press the Go button, the router checks the cellular connection, internet, wireless, connected devices, services, and the system. If there are any issues, it will report them here so you can see what needs attention. Next, you can directly perform a ping test from this router. You can check your cellular 4G connection, your broadband 1 connection, and if you are using a VPN, it will also test the VPN and local network. Just like the previous option, here you can press to check the route of your connections. You can check the route for your cellular network, your broadband connection, and your VPN. NSLookup is a network diagnostic tool that allows you to check the IP address associated with a domain name or verified DNS settings. Using this feature on your router, you can test whether a domain resolves correctly, which helps troubleshoot internet and DNS-related issues. System log is a feature that records all the activities and events of your router. It keeps track of connected devices, network events, errors, and other important information. You can use the system log to monitor your network, troubleshoot issues, and even download the logs for later analysis.